Did you ever hear the chilling tale of Adam's first wife before Eve? Her name was Lilith, a figure cloaked in dark mystery and shrouded in controversy. Imagine this: long before Eve took the infamous bite of the forbidden fruit, Lilith walked the earth. Some ancient legends suggest that Lilith, not Eve, was actually the first woman created. In Genesis chapter 1, we see a glimpse of her existence, but by chapter 2, Eve takes center stage. So what happened to Lilith? Her story is nothing short of terrifying. Lilith turned her back on Adam, sought out Satan, and became the mother of demons. This haunting portrayal didn't just appear overnight. It emerged in the early 2nd millennium CE, but its roots are far more ancient, stretching across civilizations that span thousands of years. Prepare yourself as we delve into the dark truth about Lilith's origins. According to certain legends, Lilith was created even before Eve. In Genesis chapter 1, we see the simultaneous creation of man and woman, but in Genesis chapter 2, Eve is specifically formed from Adam's rib. This glaring discrepancy led to various interpretations, and so Lilith's twisted legend began to take shape. Unlike Eve, who was born from Adam, Lilith was crafted from the same earth as Adam, symbolizing an equality that would soon lead to catastrophic conflict. Genesis 1:27 says, "So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God he created them, male and female he created them." This passage clearly indicates that man and woman were created together, side by side. But then Genesis 2:21-22 tells a different, more disturbing story. "So the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep, and while he was sleeping, he took one of the man's ribs and then closed up the place with flesh. Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib he had taken out of the man, and he brought her to the man." This disturbing version suggests Eve was an afterthought, a secondary creation. Scholars today offer the documentary hypothesis, claiming that Genesis is a combination of various ancient texts stitched together. But that doesn't explain away Lilith. Ancient cultures filled these ominous gaps with their own terrifying stories. By the end of the 1st millennium CE, the legend of Lilith had fully solidified in the minds of many. The documentary hypothesis argues that the Pentateuch, the first 5 books of the Bible, was formed from 4 primary sources: Jahwist J, Elohist E, Deuteronomist D, and Priestly P. Written by different authors in varying periods, these sources were later pieced together, leading to contradictions like the 2 creation accounts. But none of this scholarly debate addresses the eerie presence of Lilith. Lilith's demonic transformation is first explicitly mentioned in the medieval Jewish text, the Alphabet of Ben Sira, written between 700 and 1000 CE. Here, Lilith is depicted as Adam's first wife who refused to bow to him, fleeing Eden to become a demoness. Her dark story begins when she was formed from the same soil as Adam, emphasizing her equality. Yet, this equality only sparked a deadly conflict. When Adam tried to dominate her, especially in sexual relations, Lilith resisted. Furious and defiant, she uttered the ineffable name of God and escaped Eden, setting herself on a path to becoming a demon queen. To uncover the full horror of Lilith's origins, we must journey back over 5,000 years to ancient Sumer, one of the earliest civilizations. In Sumerian culture, Lilith was not a singular demon but a terrifying class of wind and storm spirits known as the Lilitu. These demons were malevolent creatures of the night, blamed for sickness, misfortune, and death. The very name Lilitu suggests a deep connection to the night, translating to night creature or night monster. One of the earliest written references to Lilith appears in the Sumerian text Inanna and the Hulupu tree. In this dark story, Inanna, the goddess of love and war, nurtures a tree that becomes infested with sinister creatures, including Lilith, who is described as a dark maid lurking in the tree's trunk. When the legendary hero Gilgamesh arrives, he drives Lilith into the wilderness, showing her as more of a menacing nuisance than a true demon at this point. The tale goes like this: Inanna rescues a tree that had been uprooted by the raging waters of the Euphrates River, hoping to craft a throne and bed from its wood. But the tree becomes a dark refuge for a serpent in its roots, the Anzu bird in its branches, and Lilith in its core. Gilgamesh, a hero renowned for his strength, comes to Inanna's aid, slaying the serpent, scaring away the bird, and banishing Lilith to the shadows. Lilith's connection to owls is significant and terrifying. Her name, often translated as screech owl or night monster, reflects this link. The scientific name for the little owl, Athene noctua, even shares its roots with Lilith, cementing her symbolic association with this eerie nocturnal predator. In ancient cultures, owls were seen as omens of death, creatures of the supernatural. With their haunting calls and night-stalking nature, they became the perfect symbol for Lilith, a dark entity of the night, lurking in shadows and bringing terror wherever she went. The eerie connection between Lilith and owls continued to shape her portrayal in myths across time. Lilith's presence in the Bible is fleeting but notable. Isaiah 34, verse 14 references night creatures translated from the Hebrew word Lilith. Different Bible versions interpret this word variously as screech owl or night monster, showing the ambiguity surrounding her identity. The passage in Isaiah reads, "Desert creatures will meet with hyenas, and wild goats will bleat to each other there. The night creatures will also lie down and find for themselves places of rest." Isaiah 34, verse 14 IV. The King James Version translates night creatures as screech owl, while the New Revised Standard Version translates it directly as Lilith. This variation in translation underscores the enigmatic nature of Lilith's character in biblical texts. Lilith's demonic aspect is more pronounced in the Song of the Sage, part of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Here, she is grouped with other evil spirits, reinforcing her role as a fearsome entity in Jewish demonology. The Song of the Sage describes various malevolent beings, including Lilith, who are believed to bring harm and misfortune. The text reads, "And I, the Master, proclaim the majesty of his beauty to frighten and terrify all the spirits of the destroying angels and the spirits of the bastards, the demons, Lilith, the howlers, and the yelpers." This passage highlights Lilith's association with chaos and destruction, further cementing her reputation as a demoness. In the Babylonian Talmud, Lilith appears as a night demon who preys on men and newborns. References in texts like Shabbat 151 billion and Niddah 24 billion depict her as a winged creature with a human face, embodying the fears of nighttime and infant mortality. In Shabbat 151 billion, it is written, "It is forbidden for a man to sleep alone in a house, lest Lilith get hold of him." This warning reflects the belief that Lilith could harm those who are vulnerable or isolated. In Niddah 24 billion, Lilith is described as a female demon with wings, reinforcing her supernatural and menacing nature. From Mesopotamia, incantation bowls dating between 500 and 700 CE contain spells against Lilith. These artifacts show how deeply ingrained the fear of Lilith was in daily life, as people sought to protect themselves from her perceived malevolence. One such incantation bowl features an inscription in Aramaic, designed to ward off Lilith and other evil spirits. The text often included specific names and formulas intended to protect the household. This practice highlights the pervasive fear of Lilith's malevolent influence and the lengths to which people would go to ensure their safety. The medieval alphabet of Ben Sira provides the most detailed and influential story of Lilith. Here she defies Adam, utters God's ineffable name, and escapes Eden. When confronted by angels, she makes a pact to spare infants wearing protective amulets, solidifying her dual role as both a rebellious woman and a demoness. This text goes into great detail about the conflict between Adam and Lilith. When Lilith refuses to submit to Adam, she leaves Eden and begins a new life as a demoness. God sends 3 angels, Sinoi, Sansonoi, Sanchanoi, and Samanjalov, to bring her back, but she refuses. Instead, she agrees to a compromise. She will not harm infants who wear amulets bearing the names of the angels. This story not only explains Lilith's departure from Eden, but also provides a theological basis for the use of protective amulets in Jewish tradition. In Kabbalistic texts, like the Zohar, Lilith gains even more mystical attributes. She becomes Satan's wife and a symbol of chaotic feminine energy, opposing the divine order. Her story intertwines with themes of redemption and messianic prophecy, illustrating her complex role in Jewish mysticism. The Zohar, written in 13th century Spain, is a foundational work of Jewish mysticism. In this text, Lilith is described as a demonic entity who seduces men and causes harm to children. She is also depicted as the consort of Samael, a demon prince, further emphasizing her role in the cosmic struggle between good and evil. The Zohar's portrayal of Lilith reflects the deepening complexity of her character and her significance in mystical traditions. In contemporary culture, Lilith is often seen as a symbol of female empowerment and rebellion. Her name, surprisingly popular as a girl's name in modern America, reflects her enduring legacy and evolving identity from ancient demoness to feminist icon. In recent years, Lilith has been reinterpreted by various feminist movements as a figure of independence and strength. This modern perspective highlights her defiance against patriarchal norms and her refusal to be subjugated. Lilith's transformation from a feared demoness to a symbol of female empowerment underscores the evolving nature of myth and its relevance to contemporary issues. The legend of Lilith is a tapestry woven from millennia of mythology, religion, and cultural exchange. From her Sumerian origins to her medieval demonization and modern reinterpretation, Lilith's story challenges and inspires. She is a figure who defied subservience, embraced her power, and continues to captivate our imagination. As we peel back the layers of her myth, we find a narrative that speaks to the deepest fears and highest aspirations of human history. Lilith's journey from the ancient world to modern times illustrates the dynamic and ever-changing nature of myth. Each era and culture that encountered Lilith reshaped her story to reflect their own beliefs and values. Today, Lilith serves as a reminder of the power of myth to influence and inspire, transcending time and space. Stay thirsty for knowledge and let the story of Lilith remind us that history is never as straightforward as it seems. Through the lens of Lilith's legend, we gain insight into the complexities of human belief, the interplay of gender and power, and the enduring allure of myth. With each retelling, Lilith's story evolves, reflecting our own changing understanding of the world and our place within it. Whether seen as a demoness, a symbol of rebellion, or a figure of empowerment, Lilith's legacy endures, reminding us of the rich tapestry of human imagination and the enduring power of myth to shape our lives. What if the story we've always believed about the first woman was a carefully constructed narrative, and the real first woman was someone far more rebellious and mysterious? Someone who left Eden not because she was tempted, but because she refused to be subjugated. We hope you learned something new today. If you did, give this video a like and share it with your friends. You can share with us what you know by leaving a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more informative and entertaining content. Thank you so much and see you next time.